What's going on, guys? Testing here. Welcome to Pokemon Go. Today I will tell you the top 10 strongest Pokemons in this game, in my opinion. So let's get started. Now keep in mind that this list is just my opinion and it's actually based on my experience in this game. I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time. I actually had an account before this that was up to level 19 and then I started over and now I'm level 16. So yeah, you can already tell that I've been playing this game for a pretty long time. So I've been in a lot of gym battles and stuff, and this list is based in my experience in these gym battles to tell you which Pokemons, in my opinion, were the strongest during the gym battles and which ones weren't really very effective. So yeah, let's get right to it. Before I begin, again, this is just my opinion based on my personal experience in this account and the other account that had level 19 in the gym battling and stuff. I'm just telling you the Pokemons that I believe were the strongest and the most effective during the battling. So yeah, let's get started. Number 10 would be the Machamp. He can level up to CP 2594.17. He has a pretty powerful special attack, which is the Cross Chop, can do attack 55. He actually evolves from this guy, which is the Mashuk, and this Mashuk guy evolves from another guy called the Mashup. I only have this guy right now. I don't have a Mashup on me, but focus on getting Mashup because he's the one that's gonna get you the easy candy, so that you can evolve him from the very start, so that you will be able to get a good evolution from the very start into Mashuk and then into Machamp, so that you'll be able to get Machamp into the highest CP possible, and you don't really want to rely on the power up very much, just rely on the evolution. So yeah, just collect Mashup and ignore Mashuk and just evolve from the very bottom. Number 9 would be the Slowbro. He can level up into 2597.19 CP, which is also pretty good. It's kind of close into the Machamp, but it's also not that bad, and he has actually two special attacks that are like the Psychic and the Ice Beam. Both have 50 attack power, which is pretty decent. This is the Slowbro I'm talking about. He actually evolves from Slowpoke after you collect a pretty decent amount of candies and sacrifice a ton of him. Obviously that's how evolution works in this game, and that's actually kind of a surprise that Slowbro is pretty decent in the battling, because Slowpoke was never really that much of a Pokemon in the original Pokemon series. So yeah, it's kind of cool that Slowpoke in this game has so much power on him, and Slowbro is actually pretty good in the battling. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. Number 8 would be Charizard, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Charizard is quite disappointing in this game, considering that he is one of the most legendary Pokemons of all time. But yeah, in this game he is a little bit disappointing. I don't know, maybe the fact that he is one of the most legendary Pokemons of all time in the original series made me expect a little bit too much of him, but he obviously didn't deliver what I expected of him at all, which is fine. But I'm quite disappointed because I was expecting Charizard to be a little bit more powerful than that. Anyways, he can level up to 2602.2 CP. His only special ability out there is the Dragon Claw, which has 40 power points, which is quite embarrassing actually. Like, come on Charizard, that's all you got? Dragon Claw? Like, come on. And he obviously evolves from Charmander. He evolves from Charmander into Charmeleon, and then from Charmeleon into Charizard, and yeah, that's the way you obtain him. He's obviously one of the hardest legendary Pokemons to obtain in this game, because Charmander is extremely rare, but in some certain locations in the world he is quite common there. But generally speaking, Charmander is quite rare. Let's just take a break and catch that motherfucker Panzer, because I don't know, he kind of, I don't know, I just want him because I don't know, I like Panzers. I don't know why, because they are quite easy to level up, I suppose, or power up or whatever. I don't know, I just like catching random Pokemon that, come on, just get him already. Oh, come on, really? I don't want to waste a lot of time on you. Give him a freaking raspberry. Like, get this over with. Oh, come on. Why does it suddenly? Oh, there we go. Exactly. All right. Now let's just get this whole 1, 2. Okay, and gotcha, motherfucker. Number 7 would be Muk. He can level up to 2602.9, which is pretty cool. He also has a very good special attack, which is the Sludge Wave, 60 power points, which is pretty decent. He levels up from this guy right there, which is the Grimer, and as you can see I have 401 CP, so I'm pretty sure if I evolve this guy he's going to get very, very good Muk with a very decent CP to me. But unfortunately I only have 3 Grimer candy and I need 50, so I'm gonna need a lot of Grimer. So long story short, I won't be able to evolve him. But yeah, that's the way you get the Muk. You evolve Grimer, or you can find Muk randomly spawning anywhere. But you know what guys, I just wanna give you a little bit of advice. Do not rely on finding random legendary Pokemon spawning around, because the maximum you could ever possibly get from their CP is somewhere between 1000 to 1500, and it's not really worth it. So yeah, get the smaller version of the legendary Pokemons and evolve them, and that's actually the correct way to train your Pokemons, because it's gonna get you a ton of CPs out of nowhere, and you can just power up the rest or just rely on the maximum you could get. Whatever, it's up to you, but do not rely on finding legendary Pokemon spawned out of nowhere, because that's just not gonna get you much, you know. Number 6 I have for you is the Flareon. He can level up to 2643.43 CP, which is kinda cool, and his special attack, the Fire Blast and the Wheat Wave, both have 60 power points, which is also kind of cool. He evolves from Eevee, but keep in mind, guys, that Eevee can evolve into 3 different Pokemons, depends on your luck. He can evolve into Vaporeon or Flareon or Jolteon, and Jolteon is actually the least one of all 3 of them, so you will be extremely unlucky if Eevee actually evolved into Jolteon. But yeah, Flareon and Vaporeon are actually pretty decent Pokemons, so if he evolves into one of these 2 guys, it's completely fine. And I'm talking right now about Flareon, so yeah, that's the way you obtain Flareon. You evolve Eevee into him. But also, again, you can also find him spawned out of nowhere in the middle, but again, I would recommend you to depend on the evolution. Number 5 would be the Gyarados, and as many people actually falsely think that this is the most powerful Pokemon of all time in Pokemon Go, he really isn't. He's just the easiest one to obtain CP in, because once you evolve Magikarp into him, he gets insane amount of increase in the CP, which is ridiculous. But keep in mind also that Magikarp is very, very hard to evolve. You're gonna need 400 freaking candies to evolve him. So yeah, this increase in the CP is actually pretty sensible. So yeah, Gyarados is not the strongest Pokemon of all time, as a lot of people claim he is, but he is the easiest to obtain CP in. So if you want a Pokemon that has ridiculous amount of CP easily, just go after the Magikarp and evolve into Gyarados, and you will actually have a pretty decent Pokemon with very, very good amount of CP, somewhere between 1000 and 2000 CP very easily, and it's gonna be pretty powerful. And yeah, that's actually one of the coolest Pokemons out there, in my opinion. He can level up into 2688.89 CP, which is pretty cool, and he has a special attack called Hydro Pump that has 60 power points, which is even cooler. He can evolve from this guy. Oh, why the hell do I have 2 of this motherfucker? Why the hell do I have 2 of this? Transfer this guy. Transfer this guy. Get him out of it. Get him out of it. Another Pinsir. Like, seriously, why the hell are there so many Pinsirs that spawn in this location? Why the hell? Let me just check out what he has in this freaking CP or whatever. Okay, 618, I don't really need him, whatever. So the Gyarados actually evolves from the Magikarp, but as I told you, you are going to need a ton of Magikarp in order for you to be able to evolve him into Gyarados. You are going to need 400 candies, which actually summarize into almost 100 Magikarp, more or less. Maybe you're going to need 80, maybe you're going to need 75 Magikarp, but long story short, you're gonna need a ton of Magikarp in order for you to be able to evolve him into Gyarados, which is freaking ridiculous. But that also explains why there is a huge increase in the CP once you evolve him. You will find a very, very huge increase in the CP when you evolve the Magikarp. It will increase something like 1200 CP from the original CP of Magikarp or something. It's pretty insane, but that's actually quite understandable, because you will need 400 freaking candies to evolve him. So yeah, that's fair enough. No, I'm not gonna get the Pinsir. No, I'm not gonna get the Pinsir. I have to fight the Urge. Another Pinsir? Are you kidding me? What is this place about? Let me just check out how many CP does he have. I don't know. Holy shit! Holy shit! Of course I'm gonna get this motherfucker. 700. What are you talking about? Okay. Hold on. Easy. There we go. Calm down, Mr. Prince. Calm down. I just need to talk. There we go. Got you. 700, 500, 700. Holy shit! While I was just standing there, Pokemon Go is kind of easy actually. Number 4 would be the Vaporeon. He can level up into 2816.25 CP, which is kind of decent, and he has a special attack called Hydro Pump that has 60 power points, which is not bad. It's the same as the Gyarados actually, and if you ask me, I think that the Vaporeon and the Gyarados are very, very similar to each other actually. He also evolves from Eevee, so I already told you that before, that Eevee can evolve into 3 different legendary Pokemons. The Vaporeon, which is the one I'm talking about right now, the Flareon, which is also a pretty decent legendary Pokemon, and the Jolteon, which is the worst of all three of them. I'm not saying he's a bad Pokemon. No, he's actually pretty good, but he's the worst of all three of them in my opinion. So if you get him, you are extremely unlucky. Number 3 would be the Exegator. He can level up into 2155.18 CP, and his special power is Solar Beam that has 65 power point, which is actually better than all the ones I've talked about before. He evolves from the Execute, which is actually, as you can see, I have 379 CP, so I'm looking forward into a very, very good evolving with this motherfucker. He evolves only once, which is pretty cool. By the way, guys, in my opinion, the best legendary Pokemons in the entire game are the ones that can evolve only once, because the ones that evolve twice, I'm not saying they are bad Pokemons, no, they are good, and a lot of them actually are on this list, but they are pretty hard to obtain, and you're gonna have to catch a lot of their very tiny version Pokemons so that you'll be able to obtain them. For example, a Pokemon that needs to evolve by 25 candies for the first time and 100 candies for the second time. I'm not saying that he's gonna be a bad Pokemon, no, he's gonna be a pretty good Pokemon, but if he's worth it for all this effort or if he's not, it's quite questionable if you ask me. So yeah, if you ask me, actually go into the Pokemons in this list that only needs one evolution, because the ones that need 2 evolutions, like I said, they're not bad Pokemons, they're actually pretty good, but you will need to catch a ton of their tiny versions to actually obtain them, and if they are worth it or not is quite questionable. And of course, I'm excluding Gyarados from this one because one evolution of his is like 7 evolutions of regular Pokemon. So yeah, I know that the Gyarados is only evolved once, but this once counts as several, really. Another 2 Penzers, another 2. I think I'm actually standing in the Penzer land. Like seriously, is that the name of the land I'm standing on? Is that the Penzer land? Like come on, 86, go fuck yours. What the hell? Number 2 would be the Arcanine. He can level up into 2983.9 CP, which is almost 3000 CP, which is kind of cool. And he has a special attack called the Fire Blast. His power point of the special attack is 60, which is pretty decent. He evolves from this guy right there, which is the Growlithe, and as you can see, I have 437 CP, so I'm looking forward to an enormous evolving right there, and I'm quite excited about it actually. And yeah, he also evolves only once. Oh crap, he is XS, which is not good actually. If you guys don't know what XS and XL means that the evolution is gonna be huge. The XS means that's gonna be somewhere in the minimum, but both of them are not gonna be that much of difference actually. Anyways, Arcanine only evolves once, which is again one of the best choices you could ever possibly go for, not because they're the best Pokemons, but they are the easiest to obtain, so just go after them first and then go after the ones that need 2 evolving, because these ones require a ton of effort. Before I tell you what I think is the strongest Pokemon in this entire game, let me just tell you what is supposedly the strongest Pokemon in the entire game and why I think you shouldn't actually try to get it. This guy right there, the Mewtwo, is actually supposed to be the strongest Pokemon in the entire game because he can go up to 4144.75 CP, and he's actually the only Pokemon in the entire game that actually can surpass 4000 CP, which is double what can Arcanine do, or not exactly double, but way far from what Arcanine do. So yeah, you can tell that this Pokemon is easily the strongest Pokemon in the entire game if you level him up. However, the reason that I think you should not try to get him is because, first of all, he does not evolve from anyone, so you only have to find him spawned out of nowhere somewhere, just like this motherfucker that spawned and despawned right next to me. Also, even if you are the luckiest person in the world and found him spawned next to you, and yes, you have to be the luckiest person in the world because he rarely spawns anywhere really. I actually never found anyone who actually obtained him. Like, I went through a ton of gyms and I never found him in any gym ever. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that he is pretty hard to obtain and very few people around the world actually got him. But even if you are extremely lucky to get him, there is no way in hell you will be able to make him surpass 4000 CP or even 3000 CP, because the only way to train him is by leveling up. So you will need a ton of Stardust and a ton of his candy, which means that you will need to catch a ton of him, which is impossible actually, because only obtaining one of him is kind of impossible. So how the hell are you supposed to obtain a ton of him so that you'll be able to level him up or power him up or whatever? And don't expect much of the CP of the random spawned creature that you're gonna find. It's gonna be something between 1000 to 1500 CP, so it's not really that much. So that's exactly why I think you should not try to get Mewtwo, because there is no evolution for him, and even if you are extremely lucky and found him spawned out of nowhere, he's gonna have between 1000 and 1500 CP, and it's impossible to get him to power up. So long story short, Mewtwo can actually surpass 4000 CP, but you can't really do that. It's impossible, so just forget about him. Now it's time for me to tell you what I think is the strongest Pokemon in this entire game, which is the Dragonite. Yes, I know a lot of people are gonna argue with that, but I honestly believe that he is the strongest one in the battle. Matter of fact, when I find him in any gym, I go and fight him anyway, but I know for a fact that I'm gonna lose because he's really, really, really powerful during battling in gyms. So yeah, the Dragonite is my choice for the strongest dragon or the strongest Pokemon in the entire game that you could possibly obtain, and that's quite disappointing that he is actually more powerful than Charizard, but that's just the way it is. So yeah, Dragonite is the way to go. He is the strongest one in my opinion in battling in gyms. He can go up to 3500.06 CP, which is way above 3000 CP, and he is actually one of the only very few Pokemons that actually can surpass 3000, and he doesn't only surpass 3000, but he surpasses by quite a good amount of CP. 3500 is a lot. His special attack is Hyper Beam with 70 power points, which is also one of the strongest power points any Pokemon could ever possibly obtain in one of his special attacks. He actually evolves from this guy right there, which is Dratini, and as you can see, I only found one of him and obtained 3 candies of him, so you can already tell that he is a very hard Pokemon to obtain because he is extremely rare. So getting Dragonite is pretty competitive, but he's worth it because he's pretty powerful. And unfortunately, he evolves twice and not once, and like I said, the ones that are evolved twice are the hardest to obtain, but this one is completely worth it, trust me. He evolves from Dratini into Dragonair and then from Dragonair into Dragonite, so yeah, you'll have to catch a ton of Dratini in order for you to obtain Dragonite, which is extremely hard because Dratini himself is kind of rare, so good luck with that. It's gonna be very hard to obtain Dragonite, but he is completely worth it. Again, he can randomly spawn out of nowhere in the middle of anywhere, but again, do not rely in respawning, rely in evolving, because that's the right way to train your Pokemon in this game and gain a ton of CP. Anyways, this is my list of the top 10 strongest Pokemon in this game. Let me know in the comments below which ones you think are the strongest in this game, or is there any other Pokemon you wanted in this list? Let me know. Let's end this video by catching this motherfucker because I'm actually out of Oddish and I need some of him. So yeah, let's try and get him. Okay, there we go. Come on, get him. All right, there we go. I caught him with, oh great. Okay, let's just give him some raspberry. Okay, hope that helps. Hope the raspberry helps you, buddy. Okay, exactly. Alright, there we go. Can I catch him? Please, I just want this video to end by catching that motherfucker. It's gonna be a good ending. Alright, there we go. I got you. So yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.